Me loud and clear on this. You can't throw out the baby with the bathwater, all right? Doesn't do any good to cry over spilled milk, and you can quote me on that. A bird in the hand is a...
Coach.
What?
All I want to know is what you're having.
I don't know. I guess I need a chart.
You mean a menu?
You want to second guess me, tough guy, huh? With the burger, you go for one of these, and with the double burger, you got, I don't know, should I go for two?
Hey, Prime. What's with winless in Seattle down there, Coach Holmgren?
He's still tripping about that Favre thing.
Oh. Well, listen, while I got you here, partner, and I just upped it for 2 more years of my contract.
Coach, you've had enough.
Oh, no, I still have 2 more.
Coach, you've had enough.
Wait, no, really, I've got...
Coach, it's time for you to go. You've had enough. Hey, geez, where are you? You're going to spend part of that $25 million on anything?
I don't know. What you got?
What about a consistent quarterback? Something that you don't have. One like this. No, one like this. What about this one? What about that?
Yeah, I don't know. You're confusing me. I can't make up my mind.
Don't worry about it, Coach. You have plenty of time. How about you, Campo?
How about me? How about them Cowboys?
Woo, that's my toaster oven. Who ordered the frozen tundra pizza?
That'd be me.
Hey, Coach Reeves, where's my Vic?
Oh, he's running around here somewhere. He'll be here.
Can I get you anything?
Oh, I better wait for him.
What about a drink?
No, I better wait for him. That's what you have to do. Pick up a Michael Vick. Pick up a coach's quarterback in here, in front of him.
Are you sure Michael Vick's gonna show up?
Oh, he'll show up. That's why I'm still here. Because he always shows up.
Oh, right.
Hello, Jerry Jones. How you doing? Yeah, Campo's telling me to tell you he's not here. Yeah. He's sitting next to Holmgren. No, Jerry, I'm not putting Mike Holmgren on the phone. Why do you want to talk to Mike Holmgren? No, I'm not going to do that. All right. See you, buddy.
Prime, you're going to get me fired.
No. Your offense is going to get you fired.
Not me. I'm not the norm. No, you're not.
Big fella, you made it.
I believe that's my stool. Thank you.
Hey, big fella, how you been, man? How are you? All right.
What happened here? This used to be a classy place. And you, why are you going on 4th down? I don't understand that at all.
You ever thought about coaching?
Yeah, what do you think?
I think you could do it. You're definitely better than...
And I tell you what, if George Wynn ever did go into coaching, there's only one team that he would be interested in, and that's the Bears.
The Bears. Wait a minute. How do you get them to do that? I mean, that's amazing.
We have chemistry.
You have chemistry with the crowd. That's
with everybody.
All right, Dan, we'll see which one of those guys survives your hot seat. It is time for another rousing edition of IBM Play to Win. My guys at Maryland yesterday, the students there saying, why don't you guys ever put up the standings? And, you know, we got a nice little, you're hovering around 500. You guys are separated by a game.
Yes.
But you've got somebody in your rearview mirror there, Dion.
Rearview mirror, just remember that our depths are closer than they actually appear in the rearview mirror, Dion. I'm right behind you.
I'm so far behind, you need a satellite dish to find me.
4-1 won the week last week. And we're going to continue here with Kansas City and Denver. And the Chiefs are underdogs here, but they are the hottest team in the league. Denver has lost 3 straight. This is an elimination game. I'm going with the road team here. It's averaging 32 a game on the road this year. I will take the Chiefs at Mile High today.
Well, Shanahan is 26-0 when he has a back that rushes for over 100 yards at home. And I think he's going to have a guy that rushes for 100 yards. And I just don't see Denver losing 4 in a row at home, so I'm taking Denver.
You know, the Chiefs defense ranked last, but it's held 5 or 6 opponents to 17 points or fewer. Jim, who did you say?
I took Kansas City.
I'm taking Kansas City.
You're the man.
Whoa, baby, here we go. Look at Denver. I'm going to say, can they lose 4 in a row at home? I don't think so. I'm going with the Denver Broncos. desperation has hit that team. They're going to show up today and win. So guess what? We're tied right now, buddy.
Well, guys,
right.
Green
For
Bay.
second, that would be.
Yes,
hey,
it
let's
would.
make that clear.
Green Bay goes into San Francisco, and Terrell Owens didn't practice all week with the groin injuries. He's expected to play. Laces out, yeah, thank you very much. And Ahmad Green is struggling a little bit with a knee injury, but I like Brett Favre in this situation. When down the stretch, he's had a great record against the 49ers. Give me the buzzer. I'm taking Green Bay.
Okay.
You know what? The Packers have won 4 out of the last 5 meetings, but lost the last 2 on the road. I'm taking San Francisco.
You are?
Yes.
Okay, well, we're going to remain Tigers. I'm going to take San Francisco, too. It's going to be very windy out there. It's going to be wet. I think that the San Francisco 49ers are starting to play a little bit better. That win last week against Dallas at the end gave them the confidence to win this game this week. So I'm going to take San Francisco.
All right, Packers have lost their last 2 road games. I know that Terrell Owens is questionable, but I think Jeff Garcia will absolutely tear up that Green Bay secondary that's decimated by injury. San Francisco.
What do you know? You're only 51-21.
30 games over 500. I don't know right now.
And our
Clinched
next
home field.
game, Carolina at Pittsburgh. Carolina is 3-0 versus the AFC. That's
You're not
why I'm
gonna do
taking
it, are you?
Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Although I want Cordell in there by halftime, I'm taking Pittsburgh.
I'm going to take Pittsburgh, too, simply because Tommy Maddox is going to play much better. He knows that he's on notice, a short leash. Look for them to come back and beat Carolina today. I like Pittsburgh.
I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think, but I think Maddox will rally off that disastrous performance last week, and Pittsburgh's the play.
And Cordell Stewart might be looking at the team across the field where he'll be playing next year. The word on the street is he'll be in Carolina.
Word on the street?
That's the word on the street.
You've been on the street?
In Pittsburgh. I on the street. That's the word. But I'm picking Pittsburgh because I think Tommy Maddox is going to rebound from last week's game.
All right, we got Dallas at the New York Giants. We just heard from Michael Strahan on his way to the stadium and on play until 4 o'clock. He's not sure if he's going to play. And if he doesn't play, Bruce Coslet, the offensive coordinator, told me this week that Michael Strahan's playing is just as good as this year as he was last year. If he doesn't play, look for Dallas to win this game. But I still think the play is going to be the New York Giants simply because they still have faint playoff hopes. So I like the Giants.
Dallas Cowboys almost won last week. The only reason they lost, it was a personnel move with Dwayne Hawthorne. They released the guy right before the game. Now they had to put their 4th corner out there on the field, and Terrell Owens beat him twice. I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys in this game. Mike Zimmer, defensive coordinator, going to have those guys ready to play.
Well, the New York Giants, I agree with Bummer, they have a slim hope. And Tiki Barber, who's a guy that really kind of quietly has got all-purpose yards in the NFC, playing really well. I like the Giants.
I got my man Joe LaCava from the PGA Tour here, and he guarantees the Giants win. However, the game's being played today at 4 o'clock. By the time they kick, Philadelphia would have already knocked them out of the division because they're going to beat Washington. Atlanta will have beaten Seattle. Basically, I mean, it's over for the Giants. And, Joe, I love you, but I'm taking the Dallas Cowboys.
You're a good man, too.
Okay. And finally, here's the other little nugget you guys didn't know. New England and Tennessee on Monday night. Boomer will be listening, of course, on Westwood One Radio. But if New England loses, it doesn't matter. The Patriots can lose here and still win the division with 2 wins in the last 2 games. So it means nothing to the Patriots. Tennessee will win. They're one of the hottest teams.
Steve McNair is playing unbelievable. He's hurt. His ribs are hurt. His foot hurts. He's a guy that can make things happen in tight situations in this game. I think they're going to get Eddie George going. I like Tennessee. Continue their run for the playoffs.
I don't think Eddie George will get going because I think New England will try to stop the run first. They can stop the pass. They got to make McNair beat him with the pass. I like New England in this game.
Tennessee coming out of nowhere, guys. Can you imagine they'd be the number 2 seed in the AFC? I like Tennessee at home this week simply because of the reason that Jim Nantz gave. They're going to be very difficult to beat in New England the last 2 weeks.
You're still going to see him in your rearview mirror, you think? All right, guys. Good luck, everybody, with your Week 15 picks. We'll continue on the NFL Today in just a moment.
Life is measured not so much by what you do as by what you do for others. For almost 2 decades, the people of Southwest Airlines have helped make the Ronald McDonald House a home away from home for seriously ill children and their families. Here's to the special spirit that brings us all together. The spirit of hope.
Trying to quit smoking? Nicorette gum can be used to help fight cravings anytime, day or night. Nicotrol's patch can only be used 16 hours. That's a lot of time to be on your own. Nicorette helps you quit, one craving at a time.
She is great. She's a great lady. In fact, I just lent her my Black & Decker zip saw. She's become pretty attached to it. You know, you can cut these beautiful patterns in everything from wood to metal. I don't miss it.
The zip saw from Black & Decker.
I have an apology to make for knitting you a present rather than buying something you'd enjoy. I thought each present was a little piece of me, a person who, I'm now told, isn't very good at knitting. I'm sorry. This year, I'm shopping at Staples. You should, too. They have the exciting technology gifts everyone wants. And this month, you can get free delivery from Staples.com. But you can't get a macrame mouse pad.
Holiday shopping? Done at Staples.
Just how deep is the new Chicago dish pizza from Pizza Hut? With a pizza this deep, what more could you ask for? How about a deep discount on a second pizza? Now you can get any other medium pizza for the unbelievable price of just $2.99 when you order the Chicago dish. That's just $2.99 for your old favorite when you buy your new favorite at Pizza Hut. Go deep.
I can tell by looking whether a vehicle's been driven hard or not. This guy's one of my regular customers. Scorched brake rotors, beat up oil pan, probably never takes his foot off the gas. He trusts me to make sure it performs, and I trust CarQuest Auto Parts. I mean, you never know. Someday you might need to give me a ride.
Champion's Copper Plus plugs come with zirconia-enhanced ceramic for better performance. Top this off with a 2-year unlimited mileage guarantee, and you've got a winner. Install Champion spark plugs no matter what you drive.
There's an easier way to get the gear the pros wear this holiday season. Call 877-NFL-SHOP for the biggest selection of authentic NFL gear. For your free team catalog, call 877-NFL-SHOP or go to NFL Shop on NFL.com.
The NFL Today is presented by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 37.
And you see the Jets quarterback, Chad Pennington, the AFC's top-rated quarterback, warming up out in Champaign, Illinois, getting ready to take on the Bears here on CBS. But we want to extend a special welcome to some loyal NFL Today viewers who tune in every Sunday night at 8 local time, 8 p.m. in Saudi Arabia. They are members of Operation Southern Watch, stationed at the Prince Sultan Air Base, and we want to thank the brave men and women of the 184th Fighter Squadron, including Technical Sergeant Kevin Kyle, Staff Sergeant Scott Harrington, Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Williams, for sending us this flag that was flown on an F-16 patrolling mission over the no-fly zone over Iraq. God bless you all. Thank you so much for your support.
God bless you.
Holidays, everybody.
For those of you scheduled to see the Chiefs against the Broncos, we're back in just a moment. For everyone else, it's game time on the NFL Today. Enjoy it all right here on CBS.
Thanks, Jim, and welcome to Cincinnati, where the Jaguars are about to meet the Bengals. Good afternoon, everyone. Don Criqui with Steve Tasker. An unusually mild December day in Cincinnati. You know the storyline of this game. Two teams that are struggling, two coaches under fire. But they both have offensive players, Steve, having tremendous years.
Well, since being inserted as the starter, John Kenton, the quarterback of the Bengals, has played the best football of his career. He's also provided leadership in a difficult season and shown this franchise the type of player they want to bring in here to turn it around. On the other side, Fred Taylor has played extremely well. He stayed healthy for the entire year. And look for him against this Bengals defense to carry the load today offensively.
We'll be back after a word from your local station.
Gather the family for the Survivor season finale.
There are 4 left. And in the end, only one survivor.
The Survivor season finale and reunion show, CBS Thursday.
Jason Alexander is the man who saved Christmas. CBS tonight.
Are you one of 38 million Americans who suffer from seasonal fatigue, characterized by loss of appetite and overall weakness? Then Damon Steak Provolone Combos may be right for you. Introducing Flame Grilled Sirloin, smothered in provolone cheese and mushrooms, paired with your choice of barbecue ribs, boneless chicken, or shrimp, each only $9.99. In tests, some people did experience feelings of euphoria, which can only be duplicated by a return trip to Damon's. Damon Steak Provolone Combos are on for a limited time, starting at $9.99.
Welcome to NFL Sunday Ticket. We've taken the show on the road today down to sunny and warm South Florida. We parked ourselves outside the Dolphins Pro Player Stadium in Miami to tailgate courtesy of Damon's Restaurant. I'm Spencer Tillman alongside Tina Servacio. And in just moments from now, the Dolphins and the Raiders will go after it.
And inside, the league's leading rusher, Ricky Williams, will face off with the #1 passer, Rich Gannon. That's just one of several key storylines on this busy weekend of NFL action. 4 teams in the NFC can clinch a playoff spot. The Eagles and Bucks do it with a win, while the Falcons and Saints need the Giants to falter.
That's right, Tina. Meantime, in the AFC, the Raiders are in if they win and the Broncos lose. Meantime, a couple of key records could fall today. The Chiefs' Priest Holmes is just 2 touchdowns shy from tying Marshall Faulk's single-season mark of 26. And the Colts' Marvin Harrison is just 6 receptions away from breaking Herman Moore's record season of 123 catches. An exciting day to be sure of offense. But what about the defenses? I want to know your choice for Defensive Player of the Year. Simeon Rice, how about Warren Sapp, Jason Taylor are just some of the top candidates in line for you. Email us, Spencer@NFL.com. And if we read your response on the air, we'll send you an NFL t-shirt absolutely free of charge.
All right, we've had our fill of the good fixings courtesy of Damon. Now it's time to tee up the football. A record 11 early games available for you to check out, and 3 more later this afternoon. Enjoy the smorgasbord of action on Week 15 of the NFL 2002, and we'll see you later right here on NFL Sunday Ticket.
Football League.
And welcome back to Paul Brown Stadium, where the Jaguars and the Bengals are about to kick it off. Don Criqui with Steve Tasker. It's hard to believe, but the 1-12 Bengals have a very productive offense, and today the Jaguar defensive backs are going to have to contend, Steve, with a rising star wide receiver.
Well, Chad Johnson has really learned how to be a professional wide receiver, and his rise in professionalism has been reflected in his numbers. He has made himself the go-to guy for the Bengals. And on the other side, Jimmy Smith has really been a go-to guy that's evaporated this year. His frustration is shown in his numbers, and Tom Coughlin is equally frustrated with his inability to find him in this offense.
Trying to win this game, man. That's all.
Subway presents Fresh Starts, a salute to this season's surprises. Subway, eat fresh. Jeff Fisher's Titans have won 7 of their last 8, including last week's win over the Colts. Quarterback Steve McNair has used both his arm and his legs to lead his team in a fight for first place in the AFC South. Safety Lance Schulters has been a welcomed addition to the defense with 6 interceptions. Titan fans of all ages are looking forward to a postseason run.
I'll have your steak and cheese with some of that Southwest sauce. 2 classic BMTs and put sweet onion sauce on hers.
Can I please have a roast beef with Dijon horseradish?
Subway Club with hot peppers, because we like it hot.
At Subway, every sandwich is fresh made just the way you want, with your choice of delicious meats, toppings, sauces, all on fresh baked breads. It can be complicated. Just, give me what they're having. Or simple. It's up to you.
Subway, eat fresh!
As you see, the Jaguars up from Florida get a break in the weather, temperature in the 40s, and no considerable wind to contend with, as there often is at this time of the year in southern Ohio. Tom Coughlin, his team having lost 3 straight close games, having lost 7 of its last 9. And across the way, his counterpart, Dick LeBeau, his team having lost 19 of the last 22 games. So it's been tough years for both these non-playoff teams, but they are fired up about playing this one. They're still NFL professionals, and they're still out to win it. Both these teams know the agony of defeat in the close games. What's gone on with the Jaguars is almost hard to believe. 5 losses by a total of 10 points.
Don, this is a game where both head coaches have to find ways to motivate their club, and this is when they find out all those decisions they made in the preseason and throughout the regular season if they've got the right guys on their squad. True professionals show up to play in games like this.
Well, they got a good day to play it in and a good playing field. Here's the kickoff by Rackers, coming up short to Ike Charlton, so the Jaguars will come out with good field position as Charlton squirms his way out across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. And here comes Mark Brunell as we look at the offense of the Jacksonville Jaguars, a very productive quarterback who's had a lot of success against the Cincinnati Bengals. Mark Brunell, the sharpshooting left-hander, and of course Jimmy Smith is his go-to guy, getting a lot of double teams this year because of the absence of Keenan McCardell.
You know, you can know that Jimmy Smith must be very frustrated with his year, the way it's going. We know Tom Coughlin has been.
Now the handoff, and on the first play of the game, it goes to Fred Taylor, who has run so well in the recent weeks, in fact, all season, and historically has had big games against the Bengals. Takeo Spikes brings him down. As we look now at the defensive unit of the Cincinnati Bengals, their pass rusher Justin Smith, number 90, an important player. And then Takeo Spikes, one of the fastest outside linebackers in the game. And back in to play cornerback today is Jeff Burris, who's been out with an injury. Second down, they need 5. Brunell, a timing throw, gets it downfield, and it's a little bit too much on it for Jimmy Smith, who had a step on the defense, maybe more than one, and there's a penalty marker down.
Yeah, and that was on Jimmy Smith working there on the outside, being guarded by Corey Hall, it looked like, the safety.
Holding, number 34, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Kevin Casehorn latched on to Jimmy Smith and wouldn't let go on the outside, and you'll watch here, right at the top of your screen, you only get 5 yards, and then once you hit him, you have to let go, and Kevin Casehorn just didn't free up his hands, and I think they threw that flag, Don, mostly because they felt if Jimmy Smith wouldn't have been tangled up with Casehorn, he could have made a play on that football.
And Casehorn, as you know, Steve, a surprise, not really a surprise starter, but a backup. Artrell Hawkins, the best Bengal corner, is out with an injury today, so Kevin Casehorn, a free agent, can look for a lot of balls coming his way. On first down, it's back to the run, and here's Taylor, and the Bengals play the run well. A gain of maybe 2 yards out close to the 45-yard line. Jaguars have beaten Cincinnati over the years, 9 of 11 meetings.
I think you can look for that to be the case today. No, not the result, but obviously that play call. Fred Taylor against this Cincinnati defense, the statistics say that Cincinnati has trouble stopping the run, and Fred Taylor can get it done. I mean, this is a guy that can carry the load. He's one of those franchise backs that loves the ball about 30 times a game, and today is the absolute perfect time for that to happen.
And this is a good day for an offense to build its numbers against the Bengals. They've given up the most points of any team in the NFL, 387. Here's a throw over the middle, and the ball is taken in nicely by Bobby Shaw. And he appears to have a first down for the Jaguars. Takeo Spikes is on the stop, but it's a 9-yard gain.
One of the things you'll watch here, this is Mark Brunell. He's going to throw this short crossing route. The Jaguars, I think, want to emphasize today just hanging on to the football, making sure their offense converts on third down, keeping the Cincinnati offense that has been so productive off the football field. Just move the chains.
They might move him deep before long. At the top of your screen is Jimmy Smith. In press coverage is Kevin Casehorn, who couldn't cover him the last time they went to him. Now Casehorn, you see, backs off. They go back to 28. Running the ball again for plus yards is Fred Taylor, who could be on the way to a 2,000-yard season from scrimmage. He's got almost 1,200 yards rushing. He's got 42 catches also for a lot more yards.
This was interesting. You called it, Don, at the top of your screen. Jimmy Smith was single covered, but then the Bengals backed out of it. They were trying to bait Mark Brunell into going to Jimmy Smith in the single coverage. And Brunell wouldn't bite. Every time you see Jimmy Smith in single coverage, Mark Brunell will throw it. But they bailed out of it too early, and he didn't change the play.
But Fred Taylor gets 6 on the run, so they need 4. Second down. Brunell with a deep drop, throwing the catch down to the 27-yard line. So the Jaguars come out pitching. This time they hit Jimmy Smith. And Jeff Burris is on the tackle, but it's a 13-yard gain. And the Jaguars very sharp in this opening drive.
Yeah, the linebackers come up. It's a blitz, and it's a play action so that they have enough protection for Brunell to get rid of the football. And Jimmy Smith running one-on-one on the outside because of the blitz. He gets the one-on-one coverage. Doesn't happen very often to him, but when it does, he makes you pay.
Jimmy Smith, a threat to go the distance every time. He's been frustrated, as you pointed out, Steve, by all the double coverage now that McCardell's gone. Here again is a handoff, and Fred Taylor powers his way straight ahead. Fred Taylor has a 4.5 career average running against the Bengals in 5 games against them. He's rushed for 460 yards.
And one thing that Fred Taylor can do is just hang on to the football. When he's got the ball in his hands, Mark Brunell doesn't have to throw it around. They can move the chains, and Tom Coughlin can stand there and play the role of offensive coordinator rather than head coach. He can control the game much more effectively when his team has the ball. His defense isn't geared to dictate, but his offense is.
An area that the Jaguars can dictate in is running the ball. The Bengals are 30th in the NFL in defending the run. It lost a lot of defenders with injuries. Now a throw to the end zone. They go to Kyle Brady, and it is incomplete. Down close, they like Kyle Brady.
Well, if you stood next to him, you'd know why. The guy's a giant. He's like 6'6", 280. He's an offensive tackle that can run, and you get matched up against Juwan Armour, and that's, you know, I have 3 older brothers, Don. Juwan Armour, and that looks to me like trying to guard one of my older brothers. They're always bigger. They're always stronger. Look at that, 6'6", 278. Try guarding him man-to-man. That's tough.
But none of your brothers went to the Pro Bowl 7 times.
No, but they still beat me up.
Here now is 3rd down. 4. Brunell stands in. He's on the run. Brunell still a 5-yard rusher, and he gets ahead for a 1st down. So Brunell, when he pulls the ball down, still a threat to gain good yards. He got 6 there, and the drive continues with a 1st down.
Oh, that's got to be frustrating for the Bengals. They had Takeo Spikes spying Brunell. Watch here as Brunell breaks contained. Spikes is right there, and he sidesteps him. They had the proper defense called, and Mark Brunell just makes a play. Takeo Spikes was watching every move he made and just couldn't keep him from getting the 1st.
So now the Jaguars, after this opening kickoff, really moving the ball beautifully downfield. Combination play called, one pass, back to the run they go. And again, Fred Taylor tries the middle and gets a little bit as Takeo Spikes, a very fast linebacker, and Justin Smith, the defensive end, get him down after a gain of 2.
They're getting down close in the 15-yard line, and that's where you really are most effective if you can run the football. It really puts the defense in a tough position. You watch here, the lineman just comes straight out. There's no crossing. There's no trickery or anything. It's just man-on-man, get a guy and find him and push him, and the Bengals slip in behind the seams of the blocks and snap that play off. Good play by the Bengals. Look for the Jaguars maybe to try some trap blocks from here on in.
Let's see what they do now on 2nd down and a long 8, almost 9. On the rollout, Brunell gets away for the moment. Now he throws to an open receiver, and it's dropped. Normally sure-handed Pete Mitchell, number 83, has got some of the best tight end hands in the league. Couldn't handle it.
Well, Mark Brunell makes another great play, avoiding the pressure. Pete Mitchell is out there. They forget about him when Brunell breaks contained. Pete Mitchell's clapping his hands, trying to get Brunell's attention. Finally, he does, and then he can't catch the football.
That's unusual for Mitchell. He can really catch the ball.
That's a great pump. I'm telling you, Don, nothing is a better fake than a pump fake for a quarterback. It always works.
And you see the experience of Brunell. That was a tremendous play by Brunell. But it brings up 3rd down on the incomplete pass. So from the shotgun they go. Needing 8. And this one is down inside the 5 and on into the end zone as Kevin Lockett takes it in from 12 yards out. And the Jaguars come right down the field and score on the opening drive. And you wonder how much into this game at this point are the Cincinnati Bengal defenders.
Well, that's the thing is that when you're 1-12, you kind of look for ways not to lose. You're not trying to win, and this was an absolutely masterful drive by the Jaguars. This play was timed perfectly. They had pounded it up the middle, tried to go inside the tackles, tried to move the pocket, and then just ran the quick screen wide. It worked perfectly.
And that is Mark Brunell's 15th touchdown pass of the season. He's thrown only 6 interceptions. And the Jaguars start fast and take a 7-0 lead. They'll kick off and we come back to Cincinnati. Mark Brunell just led the Jaguars on a 68-yard, 11-play drive. 12-yard touchdown pass to Lockett. The key play was Brunell's scramble on 3rd down. And now Brandon Bennett back in the lineup. A very good kick returner. Takes it back to the 25-yard line. He's the best in the AFC. Brandon Bennett. And the Bengals will go on offense 1st and 10 when we come back.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 37. KFC, there's fast food, then there's KFC. And by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
We're back to Cincinnati. The Jaguars with a 68-yard touchdown drive off the opening kickoff. And now can the Bengals answer? They go to Corey Dillon on the run. Their power runner has not had a 100-yard rushing game over the last 4 games. He's stopped there by John Henderson. As we look at the offense of the Cincinnati Bengals, led by John Kitna, who has been just terrific over the last 7 games. He has a quarterback rating of 91, 14 touchdown passes over that period. And here is Chad Johnson, his young wide receiver, who's emerging as a star. They'll be going to him before long. Back they go in a big defensive play. Shooting the gap on Corey Dillon was the free safety Marlon McCree, who's one of the AFC leaders with 6 interceptions. Loss of 4 yards. As we look at the defense of the Jaguars, Ohio native Marco Coleman will be chasing the passer today. He's from Dayton. Linebacker Danny Clark told us yesterday he lives to hit people on the football field, just loves it. And they get back one of the best hitters from the safety position in Donovan Darius, who was out last week. 3rd down now, and will be long yardage. The ball is positioned at 3rd and 12. And here is a sack of Kitna all the way back at the 15-yard line. And from this sparse crowd at Paul Brown Stadium, the boos are heard early in the game, a loss of 9 yards.
Well, you'll watch here inside right here. The 2 tackles are going to come in, just collapse the pocket right around John Kitna. These 2 guys are a load up front, and that's going to be a matchup that the Bengals are going to have to play better in. The offensive guards, O'Dwyer and Goff, and Rich Bram, the center, are going to have to battle those 2 big defensive tackles.
Marcus Stroud getting his 7th sack of the year. Here's a punt taking a Cincinnati roll downfield. It'll go out of bounds at the 43-yard line of the Jaguars. So Brunell and the Jaguar offense ready to go to work again when we come back.
CBS.
Log on to NFL.com and get the latest insight from Boomer Esiason on the development of young quarterbacks. It's only at NFL.com or on America Online. Enter keyword NFL.com. Don Criqui with Steve Tasker. Mark Brunell and the Jaguars with a 7-0 lead, going to work on their 2nd possession. Brunell in trouble. They get him, and down goes Brunell as Justin Smith gets his 5th sack of the year. Guy who had a tremendous rookie season, but they had a lot more help in the defensive line. He's been doubled all this season, not that time.
Well, Justin Smith has been the kind of the victim of the fact that Vaughn Booker and Oliver Gibson have not played for most of the season. And he, you know, a defensive end pass rusher needs some other guys to take some blockers away from him. And Justin Smith is kind of suffering a sophomore slump because of the fact that there have been some injuries on that defensive line.
Oliver Gibson out, Vaughn Booker out most of the season. 2 big run stoppers. Now on 2nd and long, they go to Fred Taylor. And Taylor turns it up and gets to about the original line of scrimmage. A 6-yard gain. Let's find out what's going on with the Colts and the Browns. Big game at Cleveland as we go to Jim Nantz in New York. Jim.
Mr. Criqui, I think you're familiar with this combo right here. Couch to Quincy Morgan. Yes, the ones you called last week on the Hail Mary hookup for the victory. This time 78 yards for the touchdown. The Browns missed the point after, but lead it 6-0. Back to Don and Steve.
Thank you, Jim. Chris Naoli, an offensive guard for the Jaguars, told us yesterday, Jim, that he said Couch has done that to him twice. He was on the '99 Saints team that when the Browns won their first game with that exact same play in their first year. Again, the big rush is on Brunell, and Brunell in deep trouble is sacked again. So all of a sudden, Somebody said something to somebody on the sideline because it looked like the Bengals just about quit on that opening drive. Now they look like a good defense.
Well, they're bringing extra people to get pressure on Brunell. They're crossing up the rushes. They're bringing 7, 8 guys. They double Jimmy Smith and then bring everybody else to bring pressure on Brunell. You'll watch here, and there. That's Corey Hall that just went right by Brunell and then got back into the play.
Chris Hansen having a real good year punting. Hits the ball downfield. It takes a reverse hop. And the Bengals will get the ball outside their 30-yard line to start their second drive. Back to Paul Brown Stadium after this 28-yard punt.
Enter.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by T-Mobile. Get more minutes, more features, more service. And by Cadillac. Bold vehicles defying convention.
The ice is good in downtown Cincinnati. Coach Coughlin, after calling an excellent opening drive, now he sees a lot more pressure on his quarterback.
Yeah, you see there Mark Brunell back sitting on the bench. Tom Coughlin's the head coach and offensive coordinator, so they can't talk between series.
Good point. I don't know what that's all about. Chad Johnson short-arming the ball. I guess he didn't think he could get to it.
And you think about that, and Tom Coughlin now is the head coach watching his defense, kind of keeping track of them against this really good Cincinnati offense. And Mark Brunell comes off after a terrible possession, 1, 2, 3 and out, and doesn't have anybody to talk to. And I think that's one reason a head coach has a hard time being effective as his own offensive coordinator, because he can't look. He's looking over the pictures right there, but Brunell's nowhere to be found.
Right now, Kittner finds himself in a 2nd and 10, and he goes to Corey Dillon. He'll get some, but not a lot. That'll put the Bengal offense in a long yardage situation as John Henderson, one of those huge defensive tackles on Jacksonville, makes the stop. Big John was the Outland Trophy winner last year at Tennessee.
Well, that's the difference. And those two big guys right down inside just will not let the offensive lineman get up the football field. And Corey Dillon has to stop and wait for some crease to emerge before he can stick his nose in there. And John Henderson is waiting on him. And those guys, he's a big guy, and so is his running mate, Marcus Stroud. Those two guys anchor the defense, and everybody else runs to the football.
But some Bengal coaches telling us before the game they don't have great lateral speed. They're going to try to get wide on if they can. Now in 3rd down, Kittner stands in, gets some time, makes a throw. It's for a first down to Hushmanzada, and he's not done. As Hushmanzada is all the way down to the 45-yard line. A 22-yard gain on 3rd and long. Donovan Derry is finally making the stop.
When you look at T.J. Hushmanzada, you got Peter Ward, Chad Johnson. There's 5 guys on this team have over 30 catches, and that's a result of that guy right there, number 3, John Kittner. He has the rare ability to throw it to the open guy, never really gets a favorite receiver. Don, I think that's been the genius behind this offense and the way it's played. They just spread the football around, and everybody thinks they can catch it.
Bob Bratkowski, the offensive coordinator. Ken Anderson, the quarterback coach. And here is a throw and a catch, and this is the fullback. Big Lorenzo Neal gets ahead to the 41-yard line, a gain of almost 5 on the play. Because on the stop was Darius and T.J. Slaughter.
You know, Lorenzo Neal, one of those fullback types, he runs the football maybe 4 times a year, maybe once or a half a carry a game. He averages out, has about 19 catches. He knows. You see there what he said, when the ship is going down, it just sucks everything down with it, and the ship is going down. Let me tell you, when you're 1-12, you don't have very many positives to draw on when things go bad.
Hey, when you're playing on the highest level of football, making this kind of money, you better be ready to go every week. You certainly should be. And Lorenzo Neal's a guy that is ready to go every week. Here is a handoff, and Corey Dillon finds a gap, and he's ahead for a first down to the 35-yard line, maybe the 34, a 7-yard gain as Hagan Adele gets him down. But the Bengals, Steve, starting to look more proficient on offense this second drive.
Well, they take the fullback out and go with a single back set, and then John Kittner runs the draw play, and they let, you see there, that's Larry Smith getting into the backfield, and the offensive lineman just runs him past Corey Dillon, so Corey Dillon can go the other way.
Each team with a very productive go-to runner and also good receivers. Dillon's caught 40 balls this year. Here's Kittner making a throw, and the ball is lost at the 22-yard line, incomplete. Came in low to Chad Johnson.
And Chad Johnson had the yardage for the first down. John Kitna just couldn't put it out there far enough for him. This field actually is in pretty good shape, Don. You and I were down there before. It's been sodded between the numbers, so when you see players losing their footing, it's mostly because they're desperately trying to make a cut they shouldn't make. This field, there's nothing really wrong with this field. It's in good shape. Both clubs intimated as much to us, and we were down there talking to them.
A lot better than the last time when the Jaguars were here a year ago, when they felt it was like knee-deep in snow and mud.
Playing in a green sandbox.
And off, and Dillon looking to cut back, and he's inside the 35-yard line on 2nd and 10 and gets only a yard. Good defense is the middle backer, Wally Rayner. Bills and makes the stop.
And you talk about this defense for the Jaguars. There's a couple of things they could do. I mean, they've got a good, strong run defense up front with those two big defensive tackles. They've got pretty good athletic linebackers. Donovan Darius is one of the best safeties in the National Football League. I think what they could really use is a cornerback on the outside that you can put on one receiver and just say that guy's out of the ball game. They don't really have a shutdown corner that any receiver in the league fears just yet.
Well, all their D-backs will be tested here as they go with an open backfield. Here comes Kitna making a throw, a timing pattern. And again, Chad Johnson was not ready for the ball, and he gets some boos.
Yeah, John Kitna and Chad Johnson don't look like they're on the same page. I mean, that's something you haven't seen. Now, the ball was tipped. The defensive back made a great play on it. But as John Kitna lets this go, Chad Johnson isn't looking for the football. It's a timing route, so he really shouldn't be. And they got tangled up right at the point of the break. Right there, that's a great break on the ball there by Fernando Bryant to break that up.
Now a 52-yard field goal attempt by Neil Rackers, who's having a good year.
The Bengals, I'm sorry, Don, the Bengals are -1 guy. They're going to have to take a timeout now.
It's all right. Better get it right and burn a timeout than go out there without enough blockers. Rackers can get it there from 52 with no problem. We're back to Paul Brown Stadium as you see the Jaguars in the lead 7-0. Neil Rackers with a career-long 54. Having a good year, 11 of 14.
Yeah, it'll be a really good year if he can hit this one. I mean, this is a long kick. This is one that you remember in the offseason.
Looks officially like it's 51, almost 52. Win not a factor. Ball is on the way. Looks like it has enough distance. Right on time, a 51-yarder, and it's good.
Great kick.
So the Bengals get points on their second possession on a 51-yard field goal by Neil Rackers. Rackers just hit a 51-yard field goal for Cincinnati, and on the play blocking was defensive end Bernard Whittington, who was shaken up.
Yeah, sometimes you get in there, the defense trying to jump up, and somebody falls on your leg, or you get rolled up on because of the static pressure in there. Two teams just pushing against each other, not moving, and then you kind of, when it gives, it kind of comes down all over you. And Neil Rackers hits this. This is a great kick, right down the tube from 51 yards, and he knows it's good as soon as he hits it. Decides he's going to jump up, and then I don't know if I'm that high. Doesn't really throw the fist in the air, but that is a good kick. A late season 51-yarder. That's the kind that builds confidence.
Hey, when you're 1-12, every kick that goes through is a good one. If you're 12-1, every kick that goes through is a good one. Here's Ike Childers back now as Rackers will kick off.
You're 12-1, every kick has been good.
The Bengals last week gave up the most points in the 35-year history of the franchise, although a lot of those were on returns. They had 2 kicks returned for touchdowns by the Carolina Panthers, who scored 52. Here comes Ike Charlton for Jacksonville. He's got a gap. And he gives the Jags excellent position as they get the ball out to their 37-yard line. Wednesday on the finale of The Amazing Race, the teams race back to America, the finish line, and a $1 million prize. Don't miss the 2-hour season finale of The Amazing Race. That's Wednesday at 9, 8 Central on CBS, America's most watched network.
Well, after going 11 plays, 68 yards in their first possession, they looked just as bad as they did good on their second possession. They were 3 and out.
But as you pointed out, Steve, a lot of combination blitzes were sent at Brunell. He didn't have the time.
We'll see if it continues here for the Bengals.
They're bringing people up front. First down, Brunell with a quick drop, slant throw. That's Jimmy Smith on the run, and he's across midfield and down to the 46-yard line of the Bengals. A gain of 17 yards on a well-executed slant pattern. Theo Spikes got him down.
And you see there, this is one of those rare occasions. Jimmy Smith has single coverage. Jeff Burris has his eyes in the backfield, so they were going to drop back into a zone coverage. Jeff Burris trying to get a little piece of Jimmy Smith. It just wasn't enough.
That was more like no coverage rather than single coverage. Jimmy Smith now with 68 catches for the year. Red Taylor follows a lead blocker, and Taylor powers his way down close to the 41-yard line. It'll bring up second down and 5 as 51 Takeo Spikes is on yet another stop for the Bengals, getting up slowly.
Yeah, he's going to climb to his feet. You got to wonder at some point, Don, and it's really difficult. And you can say what you want. These guys are, you know, it's a train wreck every Sunday for these guys. And this is a guy who's battled through, well, ever since he's been a Bengal, they've had double-digit losses. And it says something about a guy's character when he can continue to be beaten up, play hard, get up, and come back and get in the lineup to help his team. I mean, it's easy to call it quits when you're 1-12, you get nicked and maybe coast in the rest of the season on the training table. But these guys are battling back, and they're staying in the lineup when they can. And I think I got to tip my hat to him for that.
Well, his name, Takeo, means warrior. When we played at Auburn, they said he wasn't one of the best linebackers. He was also one of the best people they ever had in the program.
Well, we sat down and spoken with him, and he does have that warrior's heart. I mean, he wants to play. He's got that inner aggression. He focuses. He likes to cheer his teammates on, and those are fun guys to play with because, you know, he'll make his share of plays, but when you make your share, he's there to pat you on the back and say, great job. Those guys are fun.
And he's making the plays today. As you saw, 7 tackles already for Takeo Spikes. Brunell fires and makes another laser-sharp throw downfield to Jimmy Smith. Case Fajarn makes the stop, but he does it 10 yards downfield. So the Jaguars fine-tuning their offense on this third drive and moving the ball again.
Well, they bring a lot of players to try and get pressure on Brunell, and they just can't get home. And because of that, Jimmy Smith is single covered, and he beats it. I mean, Jimmy Smith, if you single cover him against anybody, he's going to win. And now the Bengals starting a backup in Kevin Case Fajarn, putting him single covered on Jimmy Smith, you're going to lose.
And that'll do it for the first quarter of play with Jaguars leading the Bengals 7-3, and we'll return to Paul Brown Stadium right after this message.
Introducing Remington's new micro.
Ready to start the second quarter. Don Criqui with Steve Tasker. A little pump of the helmet there, Steve.
Yeah, those are air bladders inside the helmet. Sometimes you hit a couple of guys too hard and you find out you're flat up there. You got to pump it up.
With the tire pressure on. Brunell again with a quick drop. Again with a sharp throw. And again it's Jimmy Smith who's having a good day. Juwan Armour gets him out of bounds, but again, he's downfield with a 12-yard gain for a first down.
Well, one of the things the Bengals are doing, they're doing one of two. They're either bringing too many guys for the Jaguars to block and trying to get pressure on Brunell before he can find Jimmy Smith, or they're zoning it off and trying to have 2 guys cover the area where Jimmy Smith is. Neither one's been effective so far. In fact, Jimmy Smith's having a day like he hasn't had in 6 weeks.
He's going to be getting a lot more. They have a match against Case Fajarn. This time they go to Fred Taylor, and Taylor finds open field. With that remarkable ability to seemingly be cornered and then make a change of pace, cutback move, and get ahead for big yards. Talk about running back, Steve, having great vision.
Well, that's it. Watch as he comes off to the right. He's going to kind of hop there. Look, and there it is right there. And you see how fast he gets just off to the right, slides over, and just bursts through the hole. That's the burst right there. You see when he turns it upfield, he gets past you in a big hurry. And that's why he's such a great player when he's healthy. When he stays in the lineup, the Jaguars have always got a chance in the run game.
Well, he was out 14 games last year, and they were 4-10 without him. But he's been in every game this week. Now Brunell rolling out, taking a look. He's on the run, and he throws to the end zone, and a touchdown is signaled. And that is Pete Mitchell. We talked about his good hands after he dropped one earlier. That time he shows how good they are as Mitchell plants his feet, makes the catch. It's touchdown Jaguars.
Well, Pete Mitchell just camped out in the corner of the end zone. Brunell finds him, and as he hangs out of bounds, he brings this ball in, watches Brunell, and this is what Mark Brunell does. He holds it. The more he holds it, the more pressure's on that defense. You see there, Pete Mitchell just comes back, and Canute Curtis has no chance.
Now the extra point attempt. Danny Boyd comes out. First the officials.
Now, Dick LeBeau just threw the red flag. He doesn't think that was a catch.
Well, it's a good time to do it before they kick the extra point, because then it's history.
Yeah. Well, 1-12, I'd question everything.
Cincinnati is challenging the ruling on the field that the ball was caught.
Bill Levy
for a touchdown
is our referee.
And I think this is, to have this reviewed, Don, I mean, if you think this is going to get reversed, I think it's a pipe dream.
Well, the Bengals have not had good luck on replays. They've lost all 5 of their challenges this year.
Well, I think this is going to be number 6, and this is great. And this is what Mark Brunell brings you. He's not as mobile as he once was, but he's a smart runner.
Yeah.
He never does the stupid thing with the ball in his hands. And I'm telling you, that's a catch.
Yeah, I don't know. That knee was.
Yeah, but his foot was this. Watch here, is in this Pete Mitchell at the edge of your screen. Watch now, both feet. Watch as he comes in. Both feet are on the ground. The ball is caught.
His knee's down.
I don't know. I think his knee was off the ground when he.
But as you know, Steve, the ruling on the field was touchdown, so there has to be irreversible evidence that that was not the right call, and that's why so few are overturned.
Yeah, and
it's going to be close, though, to an overturn.
The question is, I don't think there's enough there to overturn it. I think he had his knee off the ground. Both feet were on the ground. You see, both feet are going to be on the ground. Yeah, see, and his knee goes down after the ball is on his chest.
His knee looked like it was down to me. But that's why we have horse racing.
If you and I are disagreeing, I got to think that's going to be inconclusive.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the ruling on the field was, and I thought at the time, rightfully so, that it was a touchdown.
The odds are, I wouldn't say enormous, but the odds are definitely in the favor of the Jaguars that it will not be overruled.
There's a lot of reviews in the National Football League, but there are fewer reversed, mainly because they usually get it right, Don. It's not usually because they can't see it. They get it right. I mean, these guys are good. I mean, I had a reputation as a player for not agreeing with the officials all the time, but as time has passed and I've grown wiser, I see the error of my ways. These guys,
you see, they're graded on every call.
Yeah, they are.
They show up correct an enormous amount of the time. 95, 98%.
The receiver had possession of the ball with 2 feet down prior to his knee hitting out of bounds. It is a touchdown.
They took to overrule.
Will be charged their second timeout.
It is a touchdown. So Pete Mitchell's in the end zone with his second touchdown catch of the year. Guy who played for Tom Coughlin at Boston College.
Look at that, and that goes along with a 1-12 record. I mean, nothing goes your way, and I think that's part of the mentality that they're fighting against Dick LeBeau and his staff. It's hard to draw on things that you've done well when nothing has gone right.
The extra point goes right for Danny Boyd, playing in his second NFL game. And the Jaguars on the road, a team that's beaten the Bengals 9-11 times, extend to a 14-3 lead over Cincinnati.
When the government tried to cancel Christmas, one toymaker stood up for kids.
You cancel Christmas, you are canceling hope.
Jason Alexander is the man who saved Christmas. CBS Tonight.
A special holiday treat, the NFL on Saturday. Ricky Williams drives Miami into Minnesota as the Dolphins fight for first in the AFC East next Saturday on CBS.
Mark Brunell, 4 for 4 on that drive. The final throw to Pete Mitchell for the touchdown. And it's a 14-3 game as the kickoff is kicked short to the 18-yard line. Here comes Lorenzo Neal. And the fullback takes it to the 35-yard line where it'll be first down and 10 for Cincinnati. Thursday on CBS, it's the Survivor season finale. 4 castaways. And 3 tribal councils. 2 intense hours and then 1 ultimate survivor. The Survivor season finale, that's Thursday at 8, 7 Central on CBS, America's most watched network. John Kitno, his team averaging almost 27 points a game over the last 4 games. need a lot of points today. He goes long. He's got a guy going for the ball, and he is taken in down at the 21-yard line by Chad Johnson. So Chad wasn't there. What's that hat he wears, Steve?
He's got a baseball cap. He's got his number and CJ on it. CJ 85. And this is a guy in the house, and this is a guy that has emerged, and this is why this is the kind of thing this offense has done since John Kitten is in. They've made some plays. They've done some things to build some confidence on. Chad Johnson has been the focal point of it. He has really developed a relationship with John Kitten that goes further than just on the field. These two guys talk about plays. They sit around and practice and talk about how each of them is going to make the other better.
Well, that one was good for 44 yards. Here's another throw, this one to Hushmanzada. And he advances the ball down to the 16-yard line where Rayner stops him. I'll tell you, the coverage by Jason Kraft was really good.
Yeah, he had excellent coverage, and that's one of the things that Chad Johnson has done for John Kitten, is given confidence that if he's going to throw it up for grabs for me, I'm going to make sure that the bad thing doesn't happen. The defender is not going to catch it. And quarterbacks are more willing to throw it when they know a receiver is not going to let that happen. And he's going to make it play for it. He's going to keep them from intercepting it and give me a chance.
Well, he made a terrific play there, and now can the Bengals capitalize? They go to the run, and Corey Dillon tries to find some room in the inside of the Jaguar defense, and he finds Donovan Darius. Up third down and about 3.
It's interesting about this Cincinnati offense. As good as their passing game has been and as many points as they've been scoring, Corey Dillon has had a struggle in the last month or so. I mean, he has not been the centerpiece of this offense as he has been throughout most of his career. And that's because of Chad Johnson. John Kitten is spreading the football around in the passing game. And it's also a function of the fact they've been giving up some points and trying to keep up offensively.
Here's Kitten again, and he throws and makes a connection, gets the ball to his tight end, Matt Schobel, the rookie. Danny Clark gets him down, but Schobel going right where he had to be to get the first down. He's inside the 10-yard line, first and goal Bengals.
Matt Schobel, one of the few guys who's actually in the National Football League at the same time his brother is. Aaron Schobel, a defensive end up in Buffalo. And this is a young tight end that the Bengals really like. I mean, he's a smart guy, played quarterback until midway through his junior year in college. And that's an interesting point. Those guys know how quarterbacks think, and it helps them get open.
And he said he can really throw it. They haven't used him to do that yet. Here is Dillon turning the corner, and Dillon works his way down to the 5-yard line. It'll be second and goal from there. Yeah, Matt Schobel told us yesterday, you asked him what his goals are this season. He said beat Buffalo. The last game of the season, he'll be playing across from his brother.
Directly across. I mean, when he lines up in Buffalo, his brother Aaron is going to be the defensive end rushing the passer. And I asked him, you know, what's the deal? He goes, well, I'm faster than he is, but he's a little stronger than I am. And I'm telling you what, Don, that is something you remember for the rest of your life, playing against a family member at the highest level. Wow.
The entire family is motoring up from Columbus, Texas for that one. It is second and goal now. Kitten and the Bengals challenging, down 14-3. Dillon working hard. He's down close to the 1-yard line. And this is clearly 2-down territory. When you're looking for a win, you don't kick field goals.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And watch as they're running this ball down close, Don. You'll see Corey Dillon, the first couple of steps he'll take are towards the sideline. And that's starting to get these two big tackles moving sideways. They're trying to get them moving sideways, get them moving laterally, and open up some seams in that front against the Jacksonville defense. And that's a game plan decision by the Bengals. They've got to get Corey Dillon some space to turn it upfield.
They go with a power set. Here comes the blocking back, starting in motion. They give it to Corey Dillon. The Jaguars are up to it. They make the stop, and now the nemesis of the Bengals all season long, trying to get it. Could have beaten Tennessee, could they gotten it in from a yard out.
They're staying out there. Now they're going for 3, Don, and you'll watch here that the Jaguars just jump across the line. Great play there by Wally Rayner and T.J. Slaughter jumping across the line of scrimmage, and that filling the hole right in the face of Corey Dillon. He had no chance.
Well, the decision to try a field goal not well received by the Bengal faithful here at Paul Brown Stadium. They send out Rackers. If successful, it'll make it a 14-6 game. 18-yard field goal. Into an extra point, so he drives it up and through, but that point total, putting 3 up on the board, draws a resounding round of disapproval, and it should.
CBS is sponsored by Ford. The best-selling trucks are built Ford tough. Zenith, the ultimate authority in high-definition TV. Digitize the experience. And by Miller Lite. Life is best told at a place called Miller Time.
Coming up on the Nextel Halftime Report, join Jim, Dion, Dan, and Boomer for all the scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Nextel Halftime Report. So the Bengals get downfield and get close, but on 4th down from a yard and a half out, they elect to kick the field goal and do, and now Neil Rackers will kick it off. Gets the ball down, and here comes the return from the 11-yard line. Joseph takes it out to the 30-yard line. Elvis Joseph's the man running the ball back. And now Brunell and the offense comes back out as we look at the early offensive production. Very good for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, they only had the one punt. That was an ugly-looking series right there, but between bracketing it was 2 very good touchdown drives. They looked solid in both of them, and Mark Brunell coming out. The thing that he does, Don, and we've said it before when we've covered this team, the ball always goes where he throws it. Right where he aims it, it goes.
Good to see Takeo Sparks 51 back in the game. He sure does throw accurately. Now he throws downfield accurately to Bobby Shaw. The Dolphins and the Raiders playing a big one today. For more on that, we go to Jim Nantz.
And it is Chris Carter highlight time here, Mr. Cricky. Carter, famous for those one-handed snags, gets his first touchdown coming out of retirement to give the Dolphins the 10-3 lead. Let's go back to you.
Very good, Jim. That game is huge because ultimately that could decide home field in the AFC.
A lot of experience on that field. Jerry Rice, Tim Brown, Chris Carter.
Now on 2nd down and 4, Red Taylor looks for a gap and then moves ahead and gets to about the 41-yard line. He'll need about 1 yard for 1st down. Let's find out more about the Colts and the Browns as we go back to Jim in New York.
All right, thank you, Don. And so far in this game, Couch cutting through that secondary at Indianapolis like a fine-tooth comb. It's Kevin Johnson hauling it in for the score and the 13-0 lead. Let's go back to you.
That win last week, Steve, as we saw, was enormous for the Browns. They seemed to avoid the confidence of Couch, who'd struggled mightily. Today having a big day. And now on 3rd down, the Bengals come up with a big play and make the knockdown short of the 1st down. So Tom Coughlin quickly sends his punt team out. Glenn Steele makes the stop. The scoreboard changing in Orchard Park, New York, where Tasker used to play. Back to Jim Nantz.
All right, Mr. Tasker might like this. The Bills down 3-0. This was earlier. It's Travis Henry taking it the final 4 yards to give the Bills the lead. 7-3, 2nd quarter. Back to you.
And we come back to a punt. The ball left-footed downfield by one of the best, Chris Hansen. Bushman's out and lets it roll. Now he picks it up. He did not signal fair catch. He waved off his teammates not to touch it, so that's a good punt return.
Yeah, he waved him off, and even if he does call for a fair catch, if it bounces, he can grab it. He did the right thing, saved a lot of field position for the Bengals.
Okay, guys, get this bird put away, and we're done for the day.
Back to Paul Brown Stadium on this unseasonably mild December day in Southern Ohio. Temperature in the 40s. John Kitna goes to work on 1st down, makes a throw and a connection as he gets tight end Tony Stewart this time. First catch for the 2nd-year player from Penn State.
Here's the possessions for the Bengals. These 9 and 8 play drives are very productive. Those change field position. There was a study done. If you get a drive over 7 plays, Don, that's enough to give you an advantage in field position, and then special teams take over. And the Bengals are doing a good job, and the time of possession is huge for them.
It's still a game, not a blowout. Here is Corey Dillon. He's having trouble getting free. Good run defense. Wally Rayner. Good lateral movement. The former Brown comes across the field and makes the stop, and that will bring up now 3rd down and about 5.
Now, Corey Dillon, you know, in the emergence of the Cincinnati passing game, if there's one guy that may be a little unhappy about it, it's been Corey Dillon. I mean, he has not been able to get the running game going. In years past, they have had nothing else to go to, and he has gotten his share of carries, even in big losses. But I think as his offense has gotten better, it's meant that he's had to take a lesser role, and he's done it very well.
Well, he's not doing too well right now. The Jaguars shutting him down. They really schemed to stop Corey Dillon, and they're doing it. 10 carries, just 16 yards. Kidna makes the throw. Beautifully done. This is Chad Johnson. And Johnson with a football roll out to the 43-yard line.
Well, I think Corey Dillon's handling it well. He's accepting it well. Maybe not liking every bit of it, but that's the reason. Chad Johnson right there. This passing game for the Bengals is good enough to play with any team in the National Football League. And offensively, the Bengals have played so well at times, it's amazing that they haven't found a way to win, but that has been the legacy here. They have found more ways to lose, even in the midst of good offense, than they have to win.
And that gain on an 18-yard advance brings the ball out to the 42-yard line. Whoop, might have been a little late getting the snap off. This is what kills the drive. That will be a 5-yard penalty if it is a delay of game.
No, it's
false start.
False start.
They can also kill the drive.
Yeah, Chad Johnson.
5-yard penalty. First down.
John Kitna, we talked to him Friday, and we asked him about the season they're having. And he says it's mental. It can only be mental. We have nothing positive to draw on in close games. The Cincinnati Enquirer interviewed a psychologist in the University of Cincinnati and asked him, he said, failure becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. They have nothing positive to draw on, and they continue to fail.
That's right. John Kitna said you can equate it to golf. You're in a golf hole with water on it. You try not to hit it in, and the first thing you do is hit it in.
I've done that. Here is Brandon Kent, and he takes some shots, but he gets back the lost yardage and a few more. And that'll bring up third down, and they'll need about 8 as Donovan Darius, who lets you know when he arrives, one of the knockout hitters at strong safety, makes the stop.
You think about that, Don, and that's really the sense that you get from these Bengals. They line up to try and play a game, and they're just waiting for something bad to happen. They're telling themselves, don't make a mistake, don't make the stupid mistake, don't miss this, don't do that, and look out for this, and pretty soon all you're doing is you're frozen with hesitation.
Let's see what they do now. On second, he's got an open guy, and he comes in behind him as the ball was thrown to Ron Dugan's running wide open, and Kitna couldn't get in the ball.
This was a long play, took a long time to develop, and just couldn't make it time up. Kitna had to let the ball go too early.
That was a 25-yard gain.
That didn't happen.
And there is the famed author, Carl Munch, and is painting the Scream. Why somebody thinks that's a masterpiece is beyond me, but I'm certainly no art expert.
Well, there it is.
But it is a masterpiece.
98, 99, 2000, 2001, and 2002. Double-digit losses every single year.
The Scream by Carl Munch. What a fitting, here's a throw and a catch for a first down as the ball is triggered over the middle. Ron Dugans, who's been a very productive receiver from Florida State, gets his 40th catch of the year, and it's ahead for a first down.
And this is John Kitna going right back to Dugans in the same spot, except it's a little different route as a hookup instead of a corner route right there in the slot. And that's just a hook out, go to the length of the first down, come back and get the football, and well executed.
And Kitna, Steve, continues his high percentage completion rate, 9 of 13 today for 120 yards. Here's a handoff, and Corey Dillon tries the defense, gets about 3, maybe 4. Big John Henderson, 6'7", 320, tough to move, brings him down.
Well, Lorenzo Neal leading up through the hole, and I mean, you get Lorenzo Neal and Corey Dillon going up into the same spot in the offensive line, something's going to move, and they get a 3-yard gain out of it where it didn't look like anything was there, but that guy right there has led a lot of people to the path of greatness in the National Football League.
He has one of the great blockers, Lorenzo Neal. A lot of people have gained 1,000 yards running behind him, as Dillon has this year. Here is Dillon now turning it up. One of the fastest Bengals turns the corner and gets close to a first down. It'll bring up third down and about a yard. And he stops the clock with 2:55 to play in the first half. Fernando Bryant gets him out of bounds, but the Bengals again with a sustained drive.
Yeah, and there's Lorenzo Neal, and you talk about the guys he's run in front of, and you look back, Adrian, the Jets, the Buccaneers, the Titans, and now the Bengals. All these guys have gained 1,000 yards running behind Lorenzo Neal. This is a guy that gets it done. He loves the contact. He loves to seed through all the garbage on a play and find the one guy that's going to make the tackle and keep him from doing it.
Let's see where they go to now on 3rd down and a yard. And John Kitna, seeing a change in the defense he didn't like on this important down, does the right thing and calls a timeout. So the Bengals are down to 1 timeout.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, in theaters December 18th, rated PG-13. And by UPS. What can Brown do for you?
Follow the playoff race through the end of the season with our exclusive projected seeds and brackets and all the playoff scenarios. Just click on the playoff race at CBSSportsline.com or on America Online, enter keyword CBS Sportsline. Tom Coughlin, his defense scheming well to stop the ace runner of the Bengals, Dillon. Now let's see what they go to. They have a power set. Dillon's the eye back on 3rd and 1. Dillon, bang, he's through and down to the 30. So that time they split the Jags up front and get a 7-yard gain. Aiken Adele gets him down, but the Bengals drive on.
Well, that's a tough play to stop. Nicholas Lucci and Lorenzo Neal both lead Corey Dillon up between the tackles. I'll tell you what, you just don't have enough guys in your defense to stop that at the point of count. Look at that. Neal and Lucci, bang, bang, both linebackers, and Donovan Darius has to pick up the scraggler. And that's a good short yardage play.
So the Bengals get the first down with 2 minutes to go and a half, and we come back to Cincinnati.
What's Brown to me? One word.
Back to Cincinnati, where Jacksonville leads the game. Don Criqui with Steve Tasker. The Jaguars clearly the better team for the most part of this day, but the Bengals, Steve, hanging around.
Well, that offense has been very productive. They keep making first downs and hang on to the football. Jacksonville's not going to score if Mark Brunell is sitting on the sidelines, and Cincinnati must find a way that when they get down close like they've been twice, they've got to get it in the end zone and not settle for a field goal.
Here's a first down play. Kitna throwing from an empty backfield. He makes the throw as he interfered with the receiver, Schobel. Well, they ruled that the defense was right there, that Rayner came right in as the ball did. That's what LeBeau seems to think. Coming up on the Nextel halftime report, showing Jim, Dion, Dan, and Boomer for all the scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Nextel halftime report. They just showed it on replay on the matrix here at the stadium, and it appeared that there was interference.
Well, it also appeared to this crowd that touchdown by Pete Mitchell wasn't a touchdown, and they missed that one too. So I'm going with the officials.
2nd down and 10. Kitna gets time, running out of it, and the ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage. It looks like Marcus Stroud might have got a hand on it.
Yeah, that was an excellent play call. They snuck Lorenzo Neal just out as a safety valve. Kitna was going to try and get him the football, and he had some room to move if they could have gotten it through the defensive lineman, but Marcus Stroud, kind of mirroring the quarterback, just gets his hand on it. Watch here. This is Stroud right here. He's going to move out and watch Kitna's eyes and just gets a piece of it and knocks it down. Great play by a defensive lineman.
Yeah, Kitna, he's tough to defend right now. As mentioned in the previous 7 games, a 91 quarterback rating. 14 touchdowns, just 4 interceptions. Now he takes a look, lets it go long. He's got an open receiver, and the ball is caught by Dugans down at the 5-yard line. A 25-yard gain on the play. So John Kitna surveyed the whole field and found Ron Dugans, who's taken down by Jason Kraft, but it's 1st and goal.
And now there's really no reason for them to hurry. There's a minute 29, a minute and a half, and they got 1st and goal on the 5. Time is not a factor anymore for the Bengals. They've got plenty of time to run every play they want to run. Maybe spike it if they get down close, but right now they can run it up the middle. They got all their whole playbook. Plenty of time to get this ball in the end zone. Don't worry about spiking it.
I know one thing. When they try to run Corey Dillon down close, they've just burned it down. The Jags are really schemed to stop that. They're going to throw. And the ball is slapped back. That will stop the clock. Looked like Big John Henderson got a hand on the ball. It's tough to get these guys over. These guys are light.
I'll tell you, he was trying to find him right over the middle of the field, trying to find Schobel. And right on the right side of your screen here, this is Schobel. He's going to sneak out past Paul Spicer. Right there, he hesitates, then comes across. I'm telling you, those guys are absolutely enormous in there. You can't overstate how good that is for the Jacksonville defense. Stroud and Henderson are just tough to see around.
Between them, they have 13 sacks this year. Here is a draw play. A penalty marker is thrown, though. At the snap of the ball, a linesman threw a penalty.
Offsides defense.
Touchdown, Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Signals against the Jaguars.
Offside. Number 92 defense. Penalty is declined. Touchdown.
Well, and this has been the thing for Jacksonville. They've looked brilliant at times offensively, and then they just can't put any distance between themselves and their opponent. And this Cincinnati offense is too good to leave behind. If they can stay close, Cincinnati's got the people. Look at the play. Great play call. And you know, Don, that's a called play that you look at on film, and he'll tell John Kitna, John, if this comes up, Bob Bratkowski, offensive coordinator, you see this defense, go with it.
So they're going for two. Kitna takes a look. He's in trouble. Buying some time. Makes a throw, and the ball is dropped. Dillon has given them very little this day.
Yeah, he's been difficult player in the passing game. A couple of weeks ago on his route, trying to go to him twice, they gave up 2 interceptions. One 98 yards for a touchdown.
Because he ran the wrong way.
Because he was backing into his route. He ran a poor route, and this, trying to find him late. Watch as he comes back out, gets up off the ground, and that's a play you got to catch. That's a ball you have to catch. John Kitna needs Corey Dillon to pull this in, and he just didn't do it.
How did Coach Tom Coughlin feel after seeing that? Wally Rayner gives him a kiss anyway. Yeah.
Tom Coughlin has never been. There's a guy that's fun to watch on the sideline because he wears it on his sleeve. The good, the bad, and the ugly. You can see it on his face every play.
Well, we talked with the owner of the Jaguars, Wayne Weaver, before the game and asked him, what's your assessment of Tom Coughlin and the Jaguars at this point? Of course, there's been continuing speculation about his future, and Wayne Weaver's first response was, I think Tom Coughlin is a great football coach.
Listen, Don, when you've got a great football, a really good head football coach, you don't fire him when things go bad. You give him what he needs to win. And I don't know, but I think Wayne Weaver's smart enough to know that.
Well, Wayne Weaver's a very smart guy, and he's also a very stable guy. He doesn't make hip-shot decisions. You don't have the kind of success he's had without being a good thinker. And he does say we need to make some changes, but I don't think from the way he sounded, he didn't come out and say it, that there's going to be a change of coach.
Well, in professional football, as you see there, Corey Hall, he's going to be all right. But you see, in the National Football League, Donnie, a lot of it has to do with the number of people that are in your stands. I mean, you see here, this is the five games they've lost by 10 points total. I mean, that's a good football team. This is also a well-disciplined team. They don't get penalties. They don't turn the football over. But there is this about it. The fans in Jacksonville want a symbol or something that lets them know this team is committed to winning. Don't give me the same thing every year and expect it to be different.
Well, there's going to be changes. There's going to be changes probably in the way they run their personnel department. Maybe will a general manager come in? We don't know. But it would seem to us unlikely, more than unlikely, that Tom Coughlin will not be back. Fred Taylor. But that's just our speculation.
Not that he won't be back, that he will be back.
That he will. I said that he will not be. There's no chance that he will not be back.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
We're using double negatives.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's why I never graduated.
I agree with you too. I think Tom Coughlin is the head coach of this team next year as well.
Here's Brunell. He's a dangerous guy with any time on the clock. He makes a throw to Fred Taylor. And Mark Roman makes the takedown. There's 18 seconds show on the clock. So they're.
Yeah, they've got to get to about the 35-yard line for a long field goal attempt. But you look at it, Tom Coughlin's the only head coach this franchise has ever had. And that's a long time, 8 years. And you look at the difference, there's some differences in the four head show. You see the winning percentage of all these guys. He's the only one wearing a tie, which says something about him. But he's also the only guy that has not taken his club to a Super Bowl.
Well, he's the only guy also among that four that's coaching an expansion team.
Yeah, he's the only one of those four that started from ground zero and built that franchise, got him in the playoffs, been to the championship game a couple of times. And you watch this team take the field week in, week out. 4 times in a row
he got him in the playoffs.
You watch this team take the field, Don, and they just don't make silly mistakes. Now, they may get beat once in a while. You look at that play last week, and yeah, it was a lucky play. It was a good play. It wasn't the perfect play for the Jaguars. but that was a play that the kind of play it takes to beat this team. A lucky, big-time Hail Mary.
It's been happening all season. Now, here's a throw downfield. Oh, a drop ball. Kevin Lockett. He was so open he couldn't believe it. And Brunell can't believe the result. You talk about a perfect throw. That's as good a throw as you'll see all season.
That, I'll tell you what, that may well cost the Jaguars some points right there. I mean, I don't know what to say. How can you be a professional athlete and drop? I mean, I know guys drop balls, but goodness gracious.
You know what? He might go right back to that.
Kevin Lockett is going to lay awake in bed tonight remembering that play.
Maybe he's going to make it a short memory. He's going to probably go back to him before long. 13 seconds left. This is 2nd down and 10. He goes back to Fred Taylor, and Fred heads for the sideline. He didn't get out of bounds. That's going to do it. They got timeout one there, and they do get a stop with 4 seconds left. So they get time for one more play, and isn't this a bit ironic a week later because they're too far out for a field goal, so they will be launching for the end zone.
Well, they know all about what it is to get one thrown at the end zone and get stung by it. Well, the Jaguars gave it a shot early on at Houston, and watch what happens. Mark Brunell lets it go. The guys come up and knock it down. Just missed there by Bobby Shaw. And then last week, we haven't seen it. There it is again, the winning play.
In Jacksonville, they don't want to see it.
I don't want to see it. And I'll tell you, we talked to Tom Coughlin, a couple of players, Kyle Brady, and there's a lot of players who've never been on any team, good or bad, win or lose, on the last play like that. It just doesn't happen that often.
And how about offensive guy Chris Naoli telling us it happened to him twice by Couch.
By the same team.
He was in New Orleans. Here is Brunell. There it goes. A long ball. There's lots of people out there, but it's out of bounds, and the half will end. And a good half it was, as at one point the Jaguars had a commanding 14-3 lead. But the Bengals rally back and dominate yardage in the second quarter.
And that drop pass by Kevin Lockett just before halftime cost them.
It did.
And it cost, in a team that's lost 5 games by an average of 2 points, that field goal range they just lost by that drop pass may come back to haunt them in this one. They're all too familiar with losing close games.
Long way to go. That's the end of the first half with the Jaguars leading the Bengals 14-12. We'll send you to Jim Nance in the studio for the Nextel halftime report after this message and a word from your local station.
Monday, the King of Queens is haunted by Christmas past.
Reminds me of a time when I didn't have to pay bills or going after that big promotion.
We've never done either of those.
Then take time off from stressful holiday shopping with an all-new Yes Dear. And will Ray join his dad's lodge?
Pretend that I'm not here, because that's what I'm doing.
Then guess who's broke for the holidays?
Ding. How much do you think we could get for your computer?
And all new Still Standing on TV's Best Night of Comedy, CBS Monday. And later catch Catherine Zeta-Jones at an all-new Late Show.
The People's Choice Awards are coming to CBS. Go to CBS.com and vote.
America Online. So easy to use, no wonder we're #1.
America Online's the best place to celebrate the holidays. Go to AOL keyword holidays for all your holiday needs.
I do all my holiday shopping on AOL.
It's great not to have to get in the car.
On AOL, there's a gift for everybody on my list.
I get all the holiday music I want.
Recipes for pies and all kinds of stuff.
I share holiday photos with my family.
Well, with AOL, I can actually relax and enjoy the holidays.
Happy holidays from America Online. Call 1-800-4ONLINE or pick up a free AOL startup disc at these locations.
I can't stay here another minute.
Not what you need to hear? Then Super 8's where you need to stay. As clean as can be 1,900 times over. Clean, friendly Super 8. All the room you want.
This place? For that kind of money?
Not what you need to hear? Then stay here at Super 8. Clean, comfortable rooms because we inspect them more than any major economy chain. Clean, friendly Super 8. All the room you want.
Are you one of 38 million Americans who suffer from seasonal fatigue, characterized by loss of appetite and overall weakness? Then Damon Steak Provolone Combos may be right for you. Introducing Flame Grilled Sirloin, smothered in provolone cheese and mushrooms, paired with your choice of barbecue ribs, boneless chicken, or shrimp, each only $9.99. In tests, some people did experience feelings of euphoria, which can only be duplicated by a return trip to Damon's. Damon Steak Provolone Combos are on for a limited time, starting at $9.99.
help take us through Week 15 when we continue on CBS in a moment.
On Justice for All Tuesday, a mid-air emergency
We have a navigation system failure.
could keep harm from coming home.
Keep her steady. What the? Collision.
All new Jag. Then, attorney Nick Fallon saved this child from her abusive father.
Visitation rights have to be suspended.
But winning this case...
You lied.
Hey, could cost a life.
Get down! I want my daughter!
All new Guardian, all new Jag, CBS Tuesday.
The phrase Average Joe was coined for a reason. Joe's the guy who wears a shirt that says Joe on it. Joe doesn't steal the girl, he's the guy you pal around with, but not since the playoffs. Now Joe's a bachelor from Alabama who changes everything. Joe's a guy who carries New York City on 2 bad knees and guarantees victory. Joe's not just a name, it's an idea. Fathers expect more from a kid named Joe. That's how big the playoffs are. They took the name Joe and made it Joe.
Peyton, man, what are we going to do? The game's on the line. All right, hook and lateral. Ready? Break!
They're at midfield with seconds on the clock. If they complete a pass, I don't think they can get it out of bounds and stop the clock.
Whoa! Look at this! What a play! Oh, baby, that's classic!
Now, this is a classic. It's all yours.
Nah, I got my own.
The size you want, the team you want. Get your own Gridiron Classic available at NFL Shop on NFL.com.
CBS Sports presents the Nextel Halftime Report. Nextel, bringing you wireless solutions.
And from our Fifth Avenue studios in New York, hello, fans.
We're having fun outside,
aren't they? Welcome to the Nextel Halftime Report. Dan, Dion, Boomer, good action everywhere, heating up. And how about the Miami Dolphins? You talk about a team at home, that defensive unit. I've never seen a unit that so vastly different plays at home versus on the road than that Dolphin defense, shutting down Gannon, only 44 yards, and Rice without a catch in the first.
The story really was in the secondary. Jay Fiedler with play action pass. You see him going deep right here down the sidelines to Chris Chambers, and Alindo Mari adds 3. Then Chris Carter, where you been? Look at his catch, one-hander.
Wow.
Love that, Chris. There he goes. He gets in. Then after 98-yard drive, Travis Minor punches it in from 4 yards out. And Miami is winning, dominating pretty much in this one at halftime.
Meanwhile, San Diego up in Buffalo, and the Bills have taken the lead here. Tomlinson with a touchdown. Henry for the Bills also finding the end zone. Dion, take us through it.
3rd and 8, Breeze trying to make something happen, but this guy, Corey, will not be on the wire after this sack. That's his name. You get that Boomer Corey wire. Drew Bledsoe sacked by Junior. Say what? Say who?
Ow.
Say what?
Ow.
And Travis Henry takes it up the gut, punches it in from 4 yards out. Come on, guys, get with me. LaDainian Tomlinson goes up the middle for the touchdown at 10-10.
Say what?
Say ow.
Say ow. All right. The Jets are getting blanked at Champaign. The Bears holding them to only 5 first downs in the first half. What's the story here, Boomer?
Jets defense can't get off the field. Chad Pennington, 4th and short. He fumbles the ball. Doesn't matter. Bears take over on downs. Then Paul Edinger, he hits a 53-yard field goal to put the Bears up 3-0. And then Adrian Peterson rushes 5 yards. Now watch how he rushes right through the middle here. Breaks 1 tackle, 2nd tackle. Shows you a lack of passion on the defensive side of the ball for the New York Jets.
Bears time of possession 2-1 there, 20-10. And meanwhile, Carolina picked off Maddox, ran it back inside the 10. Pete cashed in, touchdown pass. They're hanging in there. Talking about Carolina with 0 yards. This is a Pittsburgh defense that last week gave up 47 and lost.
0 yards.
Can you believe that? Indianapolis, talking about 0. The Colts shut out. Where is Manning and company here? As Couch has thrown 2 first-half touchdowns, leading the way for Cleveland.
Couch is stepping up now, Manning. 1st and 10. That is the waist down, fellas. And right here, we get Quincy Morgan goes, ow! Somebody better get some tape for that defensive back's ankles. He breaks his ankles down, and we have Quincy Morgan going for 78 yards for the touch. Missed PAT. Couch back to pass again. I wish you would have saw his route. It was an out and up, and I'm telling you, mama is mad at her, baby, because Kevin Johnson takes it in for 30 yards.
Baltimore playing down in Houston, and the Ravens have that 6-point lead at halftime. Carr was picked once in the first half, and Blake, you know, he's got a touchdown pass and another beautiful grab. We saw Carter earlier. You'll see one coming up here shortly.
And Carr throws to Jabari Holloway, who gets down to the 1-yard line, doesn't get in on the next play. Jonathan Wells, looking off the right side right here, bounces it out. Nice little score, touchdown for Houston. Then Jeff Blake drops back to throw.
Here's how you go get the ball. Watch, catch it at the high point. Travis Taylor, go up.
Yep.
Great catch. Touchdown, Travis Taylor.
There it is. Ravens lead it by 6. Meanwhile, Jacksonville playing in Cincinnati. Jags have lost the last 3 weeks, 2 points or less. Now they lead by 2 at halftime. Brunell with a couple of touchdown strikes. Bengals could have tied it, Boomer. They went for 2 and failed.
Well, here's Kevin Lockett breaking all kinds of tackles. Did you see Carson Palmer in the NFL today? Hey, Ben, you're going to Cincinnati. I am? Oh, my
yeah,
God.
He didn't know until you told him.
No, but here comes John Kitna, the guy that's playing quarterback right now, and doing it very well, I might add, for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Boomer, you could have done that.
So what? You still got to get paid to do it. 14-12. Bengals on the short side again.
All right, the Eagles with Deuce Staley having a huge day, 2 touchdowns. Tampa Bay clinches playoff berth with a win. Story there, though, the Lions quarterback Joey Harrington goes out with an irregular heartbeat, left in an ambulance. Minnesota had a quick 14-0 lead here behind Culpepper's 2 rushing touchdowns, but the Saints are back as well. Brooks leading them back with a touchdown toss. And Seattle had an early advantage, but Atlanta got Allen Rossum to run back a kick for a touchdown. And that's the story at the moment around the league. Thanks for being with us on the Nextel Halftime Report, second half, coming up next on CBS.
CBS Sports presents the Nextel Halftime Report. Nextel, bringing you wireless solutions.
Don't miss the Survivor season finale and 1-hour reunion show, CBS Thursday.